What's up, everyone? We'll wait for a few people to join. I see people coming up. Can you hear me? If so, if someone can write me in the chat. Perfect. Wesley, what's up? Always with a smile. Akash, what's up, guys? Happy to see everyone here. And so yeah, let me just tell you what we're gonna do. The idea is that all of the people that are here are pretty green in the past few days at least. All of you have pretty solid ROI, but on low scale. And the idea here, is to try to cover what and how we decide what to scale and when and what we look at and how we can be sure, although delays and stuff like that, that we are still profitable, etc., etc. Feel free to send question in the chat. I will try to answer most of them either in real time or after. But yeah, the idea, I will go over a few things and then we can listen to your questions. So let me share my screen. Cool. So I chose like few prefixes. Some of you might be here to look at and decide. Here is the main panel that we look at usually on the day-to-day. It's the ad overview. And what we have here are few obvious stuff, but few of them that you need to pay attention to. So revenue is revenue, and it's the default revenue, and the spend is the spend. We usually pull it from different traffic sources. So if it's here, we pull it as is. Profit is profit, ROAS is ROAS. Then we have the CPC and EPC that again are being calculated from revenue divided to session or cost divided to session. And I'm gonna jump to the discrepancy column. The discrepancy column is actually, it's a bit confusing. It's actually the session divided by the clicks. What's our sessions? What are clicks? Sessions are clicks that arrive to our sites. So usually the discrepancy is lower than 100. If it's 100%, all the clicks that are being shown on the traffic source, let's say the ad manager in Facebook, are exactly like the session, but usually there is some click loss. Why? Because people close the page, because people have low internet, because I don't know, something is not loading, etc., etc. Therefore, the CPC that you see here might be a bit higher than the CPC you see in Facebook. But eventually, both EPC and CPC in our dashboard are being calculated by the sessions. CTR is CTR, obviously, being pulled from the traffic source. Cost per result, in case this is not Facebook, but in case it's Facebook or other places we have cost per result, it will be shown here. Session, we said. Discrepancy, we said. Average session duration, it's how much time in seconds users stay in the page. And then we are in the interesting part. So those should be pretty new to most of you, even if you're running affiliate software for a long time. We have PPS, it's the pages per session, so how many slides the user read. It used to be a gallery, now it's like endless scroll, so each slide is actually each paragraph with headline, paragraph, and picture. That's one page. So in this case, they read 14 of those slides. So 14 pages, 21 pages, etc., etc. IPP is the impression per page, how many ads we show in average. for a user in one page. And RPM, it's actually the CPM we get in average for one ad. Now, all those three really affect the EPC. It's actually the EPC is being built from those. So let's say I got $1 RPM, so $1 CPM from our advertiser in average per one ad. But then I showed like three impressions, so 3 ads per one page. One duplicated and multiplied by 3.23, it's actually the page RPM. So how much revenue in average I made per one page. Now, that's one page, but people read 14 pages, right? So page RPM, which is RPM multiplied by IPP, that's page RPM multiplied by the pages per sessions. It's actually all the revenue I made, but in CPM, right? Because the RPM is CPM. Then if I divide it by 1,000, I get the EPC. Now, we have a video in the YouTube explaining exactly how each one is affecting the EPC and which part you need to pay more attention to. It's important for you to see it, but in general, RPM will be the quality of the traffic. IPP will be how much impression we show, how many ads. You don't control it, but you might wanna pay attention, because if the IPP, if it's too low, the page RPM will be lower, etc., etc. Pages per session. On our side, we optimize the funnel all the time and try to make people stay as much as possible. But if your creative is misleading, it might cause a very high bounce rate and the PPS will be lower than average. Therefore, you need to pay attention to the PPS compared to a different creative. It might affect that. I would say the average is around, like, you wanna aim to around 15. Cool, guys. I see. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Leon. So Leon put in the chat exactly the video for the EPC. You can check it out later and go more in depth into those numbers. But you really need to understand the metrics. So each one of those will affect your EPC. And if your EPC is lower, you want to understand what exactly changed and then see if you can fix it. If the RPM drops, so it can be a general RPM drop, but it might be like lower quality of user that you get. So you might raise a flag and we'll say, okay, someone run exactly the same domain and you get double from your RPM. So you get like shitty traffic. Regarding CPC and CTR, that's, I don't want to talk about it too much. Obviously, that's our job as buyer to always improve the CTR and lower the CPC. So that's what it is. But when the EPC is dropping or increasing, obviously it will affect the ROI. I want to understand what happened and see if I can fix it. That makes sense? Now, obviously, a big part of what we do is test a lot of ads, because we are targeting super wide audience. So there is a big chance you're gonna get like lower quality audience or better quality audience. Therefore, we wanna test a lot of ads, and kind of with like a rule that we say, let's say I'm testing creative and the CTR is around 15% and the PPS, okay, CTR in Facebook is over 10 or 15%, so that's a good CTR. And then the PPS are good, but my CPC is high. The CPM that I get from Facebook is high. That doesn't mean that the creative is not good. So you actually have a good creative in hand, but from different reason you got like higher CPM. And I guess all of you know, if you've a bit of experience, I can take the same creative or the same ad, upload it 10 times, and each time I'm gonna get like different CPM and 1 out of these 10 can explode. So this is why we test a lot of creative all the time, and this is why we push you to test a lot of creative. You don't have to test it on high budget. You need to kill it super fast if it doesn't sit with the benchmarks. So general benchmark, 15% CTR, 15 PPS, around 15, at least over 10. And CPM in Facebook should be, yeah, it's not always like that, but around $10 CPM on the media buying side. It might be higher or lower, but that's the general idea. Now, if I start with, I don't know, 30, 40 dollar CPM, it doesn't make sense to keep the ad live. Like there is a very low chance that I will be able to be profitable. So we always give you the benchmark that we wanna you wanna aim to in terms of CPC. Jan, what's up, man? How much budget do you usually set? If we use, and that's a very general, like if we use dynamic ad set type, we usually do something like 4 to 6 images and 2-3 headlines. We're gonna use $20. But once again, you don't need to, you can use less, and you don't need to give it to spend the whole $20 if you see that you're not in the benchmark. I'm not saying posing after 5 clicks, but after a few hours, if you see that you're not in the CPM benchmark, CPC benchmark that we aim to be with the winner creative CTR benchmark, you can kill it and try again, depend on the result. So I want to push it again. If your CTR is good and your PPS is good, so you have a good creative, because people click on it and people stay on the article. But then you might only get like high CPM from Facebook or from different traffic source just because. So don't give up on this creative and test it again. Let me see a Q&A. No, found the winner. Can I increase? If I started a campaign with $10, I have a question. $10 and found a winner, can I increase it to $10 to $100 the next day? Yeah, 100% yes. But it really depends, like, yeah, what is your ROAS? We want increase ads that don't have at least 140, 150, because the minute you increase, the CPC is going up. It might fix itself after a day, but yeah. Cool. So I'm coming in each morning. I'm coming in the morning. I'm checking my ads, right? Now I know what all the metrics say. And when something looks good, what I can do is actually click on an ad and go to different dashboards. Today, because all of you already have winner creatives and greenish kind of color of the ads, I wanna go over the scaling dashboard. So I choose like few ads that people scaled in the past few days. I'm always into giving like real-time kind of samples to let you know that you can scale. So yeah, this guy started pretty slow. It's US mobile on SPB. Give it a bit of time. You see it was on the limit of like good ROI, but then Facebook optimized and the EPC jumped, and the RPM, you can see that also increased from less than $1 to almost $2. So things improve. Increase the budget to around $30, $50, $80, and then started to scale fast. You can see that his CPC staying pretty stable. So this is like, you don't need to wait only 20%. You can scale pretty fast when something is working. And yeah, so this is, here I'm seeing the past 30 days. And if yesterday is super profitable, right? 60% ROI. And then Carlos, I'm gonna answer in a second. But then if I'm looking on the overall today, things looks a bit shitty. The only reason it looks a bit shitty is because on Shine's dashboard, we have a delay in the revenue, and the cost and clicks are actually coming faster than the revenue. So the discrepancy column can give you an idea of how much percentage of clicks / sessions you're actually missing. So in this case, I see that the average discrepancy is around 96, 97, and today is on 84. So it's mean that I'm missing around 10, 13% of sessions that hopefully have revenue on them. So I'm coming in the morning, I see that I was profitable, I'm clicking on the ad, go to the scaling dashboard. I can see how all yesterday is looking and how today overall is looking. In here, you can see the revenue, the cost, the profit, and the ROI per hour. But then few things that are interesting for me to look at. First, the RPM column. So if I was profitable today, yesterday, and today the RPM started even higher than yesterday. So that's a good thing, right? Because if I was profitable yesterday and the RPM is looking better, I probably should scale. But that's not the only thing that I need to look at, but that's a very positive sign. So RPM is higher, or at least as yesterday. That's a good sign to decide to scale the ad. Again, I won't scale ads below 30, 40% in ROAS, right? Hopefully higher, but yeah. Then I can see the EPC, the general EPC, and I can see the CPC as well. But more important for me is the CPR, cost per result, and the CPC on platform. Now, what's the difference between the CPC to the CPC on platform? Once again, sessions and clicks. So CPC is the cost divided by session, and CPC on platform is the cost divided by clicks. I hope that already makes sense. Anyway, that's exactly like looking or should be matching to the CPC you see in Facebook. And the cost per result is the cost per result, the pixel fire. Now, when I'm scaling the budget, okay, one way to do it is to decide to scale because I was profitable yesterday and the RPM today is looking at least as good as yesterday. And then on Facebook side, and I usually will go to Facebook Ads Manager, I will look at the CPC and the CPR per hour. If the CPC is staying pretty much stable, or I know I have the margin, in this case is a bit higher than yesterday, right? And then the CPR, in the CPR case, the cost per result, that's pretty much the only real-time kind of metric that we have. If I'm firing pixels in the same rhythm like yesterday, I probably get similar users and my EPC should be pretty much the same. So the CPR, in this case, the CPR need to be as lower as possible to make you profitable because it's cost you less to get a pixel fire. It costs you less to get a user that reaches certain EPC. Yeah, makes sense? Cool. So I want to look on those three. And if I'm scaling my budget from $200 to $1,000, all I want to check is that in every hour, the RPM, and I can see yesterday trend. So today the trend is even better, but I expect it to, you can see that yesterday it's dropped in around this hour and today as well. So I'm making sure that I'm not dropping more than yesterday. And I'm looking also on yesterday, you know, similar hours and what was my ROI. And then on the other side, on Facebook Ads Manager, I'm gonna always look on the CPC and CPR per hour. I want those two metrics to stay stable. If some of them is going mad, CPR is jumping super high, or CPC obviously is increasing. I want to slow down and decrease the budget again. Ideally, and I'm going to show you a few more examples, but ideally in our ad, you want to have like few winner creative per account. Let's say I tested a lot and I found like 5 ads or ad sets that looks pretty good. I'm gonna come in the morning, I'm gonna look at the result, and I'm gonna choose each time different, might be different, or 2 different ones to scale, because one of them might look better. RPM looks good, the CPC looks good, CPR is stable. I'm gonna increase the budget. I'm gonna look at it on, in Facebook every half an hour, on Shine's dashboard every hour. And then if things are stable, fantastic. If something doesn't look good, no worries, I'm decreasing back the budget, and I'm gonna increase the budget to another ad that look at least, that looks good. So I will have like different, ideally I will have different runner-ups in each account that I can scale, and I can test if I can scale, if when I scale it, things are staying stable. Carlos, the question is, how long do some of these profitable campaigns usually run at scale before they're starting to die? A very general question. What is it at scale in this case? I expect this to keep running for at least, like, I don't know, if nothing, at least until the end of the month easily. And obviously, if you would scale faster in this part, it would make like more profit. So I would say it can list between, like, it's really depending the time of the month, but at least a week or 2 weeks. Some of them can go up and down for months. Like for a few weeks, you can increase the budget, increase it back down, it would stabilize, increase it back up, etc., etc. And a lot of time you will pause it and you will duplicate exactly the same campaign and try again. So that is one example for someone who scaled pretty nicely. And obviously you can see how fast. Then very important few points is, not being dramatic. If your discrepancy on today is lower than yesterday, it's mean you're still missing revenue slash session, but you want to check the hourly dashboard. And Rouge, if a campaign dies, is it worth trying the same article on with other campaign? And not completely understand, but if a campaign dies, you can try exactly the same with exactly the same article on different domain, on different geos, different targeting. So to be honest, a creative can last like for, I don't know, years, right? We have creatives that people are still uploading, and we used them like 2 years ago, and they're still working. So yeah, there is always new users in Facebook and new targeting, etc., etc. Another example is this guy, US targeting all, but if I'm looking on the IPP, is getting, I believe, mostly mobile. So once again, in this case, the discrepancy is higher, right? Meaning we have more session than the clicks, might go a bit viral, people might do a few shares. So that's what usually causes like a very low, higher discrepancy. If it's like 200%, something is, in the tracking is fucked up. But if it's something like that, that might get like good viral vibes. So once again, you saw it scale from $100 to 300, 240. Things got a bit shaky, optimize, stabilize, and it scaled back up. Things today looks even better. The EPC is better. Let's look at the metrics and see. So once again, RPM is a bit lower than yesterday, but still pretty high, and it's going around the same. CPC is completely stable, so that's good. And the CPR is a bit higher. That's a bit risky, but because he has solid margin from yesterday, I would definitely gonna keep scaling that and gonna follow up. Once again, if something is jumping too high percentage, both CPC, CPR, or RPM is dropping, I'm gonna just decrease the budget back down and we'll come back tomorrow and see what's up and might increase it back up. We can run campaign for like 2K a day, or let's say 1K a day, and after a few days decrease it to $20, wait for a few days and start scaling it again, all right? All right, so here, someone that is pretty new, but already doing like a really nice job. So you can see that obviously yesterday was super profitable. I think here is something strange, but anyway, 200%, almost 180%. 16 PPS, IPP, quality of the users looks good. Again, it's mobile. RPM is a bit lower than yesterday, but still similar trend. I might not completely jump to increase it, but let's see. Again, CPC stable, CPR is a bit strange. To be honest, I would wait a bit before I'm, jumping the budget too high in this case, because I'm not completely sure that the results are good. Konstantin, what's up, mate? Show how the user sees the articles. You can just use like a VPN and check it with your UTM, US VPN, or whatever the country you're targeting. They see it, exactly like you, but probably with a bit more ads. Carlos, will a domain get flagged or negative quality feedback in Facebook and affect your Facebook account by only delivering your ad to lower quality users? Have you seen this or not? No, like we have a lot of domains, and most of the time we do like different checks with people in Facebook and ask them if something is wrong with our domain. 100% of the time everything is okay. I think that domain either can get blocked or not, and yeah, our domains are not, none of our domain never got blocked, so I don't think it should affect. I think at the moment in Facebook, I think it's purely, and it's a challenge that we are facing too for the past like 2-3 months, is purely to use very solid headlines and creative. I even think that the ad copy have much more weight than the picture itself. So you might be a bit more aggressive on the pictures, on the images, but the ad copy should be super clean. You can use long ad copy. We see other competitors that do it, and it's working pretty well for them. So yeah, it's just a matter of cracking it more. Another example, so this guy, yeah, pretty low. It's targeting, you can see US mobile, only iOS, but still managed to do pretty solid numbers. RPM today is even higher than yesterday, so that's good. Oh, that's not Facebook. This guy is actually running Twitter, so we don't have cost per result. CPC is pretty similar and stable. Yeah, definitely I would scale this one. Just because the RPM look much better in this area. But yeah, think doesn't have a lot of traffic. So yeah, seems it's only running on certain hours or getting traffic in certain hours. So it's really hard to get a decision in this case. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what I want to pass. Now it's a good time for you to ask a lot of questions, and I will try to answer all of them. I see people write in the Q&A. So Jan, when you're testing, do you use one campaign, one ad set, one ad campaign structure? We usually do. I'm not saying it's the only right way to do it. But yeah, we usually do it. So one campaign, dynamic ad set, and then one ad that is actually like, have a lot of options of images and headlines. So it's one ad, but it's actually 5 or 6 different images, making like 3. So it's like 18 variations of testing. We might drop it to different, like to individual ads, etc., etc. But it's worth testing, like both. So I see people successful on CBO, people with this structure, people with individual ads. So there is no right answer. Milos, what other traffic sources aside from Facebook can work? How about Taboola or Rev content? So to be honest, Taboola is tough. The margin is pretty low. We are running there, but it's tough. I wouldn't recommend to go over there. There's a lot of other competitors of ours, actually bigger companies than us in the viral content area. They all do like their own media buying. And yeah, it's super duper competitive, so I wouldn't go to Taboola. Rev content, we saw like good results from there, but the scale wasn't huge. Like the top, days was 2-3K in revenue, and usually you are like, finding 1 or 2 good publishers, and the rest was shitty, and it was taking a lot of time to find those good publisher. And now they even change everything, so you don't have blacklist, you only have whitelist or something, or the other way around. So I think Rev content can work, MGIT can work, but none on huge scale like Facebook. And I wouldn't go into Taboola. Yeah, we see Twitter is working, but they also have like strange rules. So yeah. Carlos, more question. On mobile, do you see separate Android with iOS or target both? We either target both or separate only to Android most of the time. Once again, if we're talking about targeting in Facebook, so keep in mind that as long as you're going to target wider, and the pixel, for example, will fire only for people with Android. So it doesn't matter you target Android and iOS, Facebook will serve it to only Android users, to the users that make good RPM from your side, EPC from your side. And with that said, by keeping both of them targeted, you're actually helping your CPC be lower. Yeah, that makes sense. Wesley, so Chen, got an ad with CTR about 21% average. 600 sessions, PPS 26, having issue with getting CPC low enough, Facebook. Would this be an example you just mentioned with retesting the same ad, new placement, EPC target, and yeah, definitely yes. So Wesley, I have a CTR of 21%, PPS of 26 in average. So people click on an ad, they like it, the CTR is good, and they read the article. 26 pages is pretty insane, all right? That's pretty low. But the CPC is not good enough. So yeah, you might get like a very bad pool of users from different reasons. Like ideally, you want to test different domain, different fan page, different business manager. You want to test like, yeah, if it's mobile, so split it both, or Android as well. You want to split desktop as well. Then if you have some room, I want to target worldwide English, and I want to target, I don't know, different countries. So UK, Australia, South Africa, Singapore, Switzerland are all English. Netherlands can work well, work well. And then if you have some room, you can translate the same creative and maybe test it in Spanish. So US Spanish, then worldwide Spanish, and then etc. etc. So it's like, you need to understand that we are like, this area is a super big blue ocean, right? So if you have the winner creative, you have a way to make money. The question is if you do the right testing and until you find like the right pool of users, because all you need is lower CPC from Facebook, and you get it by testing different kind of audiences or exactly the same audiences many times. Yeah. Cool, guys. More questions? We have a few more minutes. Sure, Wesley. Yeah, I know, like most of you guys are not on huge scale, so maybe testing sound like, you want me to open like 30 ads now. But yeah, one, you can make it on very low scale, like $5 if you want to test. You don't have to make it at once. You just want to keep in mind that you have a winner creative and you need to find the right audience. And yeah, a lot of times, and it's not happening on other vertical, I think that every click will get you something. So being like 0% ROI, that's like, it's impossible, right? If someone click on an ad and read 10 pages, it makes money for you. So you probably gonna get half of it. So you're not profitable, but you're not losing the whole budget, right? Carlos, have you tried Google Display? No, but I know that other people run on GDN. Oh yeah, we have two guys that try on GDN. One guy that did, again, not huge scale, on search. So search had two articles. The reason that we never tried Google, we were a bit like, it was a bit problematic in the past to buy from Google, and then 30-40% of the revenue can come, like our revenue comes from AdSense edX. So you buy from Google and then you sell back to Google. Google don't like it, and if Google don't like it, we don't mess with Google. But we are more and more open to give it a try. So if someone have like vast experience on GDN, we can definitely give it a try together. Yep. Last questions. Oh, we're 20 people here. It's solid. Cool, guys. Let's see. Yeah. Jan, is it true that Facebook does not like low budget campaign, like $5 budget campaign? I don't think Facebook don't like it. I think you don't give him enough data to optimize. So it will be really hard for him to test. So again, if we're talking about dynamic ads, $5, won't be good enough. But if it's even individual ads and you just want to feel the creative, yeah, I think it's good enough to get idea if your creative is on the right way, and then test it in different variation. So I don't think Facebook don't like it. I think it doesn't make like much sense because Facebook cannot really optimize well to your pixel or the audience, etc. Cool. So I think, yeah. On Rouge, I keep getting feedback from readers about annoying ads and pop-ups. Does that affect ad performance? One, yeah, obviously, but I will be more than happy if you can, when you get it, it's obviously it's not us, and it's obviously maybe us like 5 years ago, but it's people that do injections via different DSPs and stuff like that. Usually people that do like support, call support kind of offer, or you have an antivirus, you have a virus on your device and download it. Obviously that's not us, and it's people that do, once again, ads injections. If you see like those feedbacks, please send us over the Facebook post ID, like where you see the comments and the specific URL you used, and we will try to dig in and block those ads that cause it. So I will appreciate if anyone see bad comments. Yeah, definitely send this to us. If you were talking about comments, use like talk to your users, right? People will appreciate even if you reply with them, or thank you for the feedback. We will check it as soon as possible. We're sorry about like a bad experience. You as the page, it's really, really important that you're gonna talk with your users, see the comments, understand what's going on. Maybe the creative, something is really annoying them, or is fake news, and people complain about your creative, and you get your account banned because of it. So it's really, really important for you to read the comments, reply to the comments, and yeah, don't just, don't ignore it. For the long run, if you want to like build something for the long run, it's very important. Cool. So guys, I'm gonna finish now. I'm just gonna wish everyone like stay safe during this Corona madness. Watch your family, friends, parents. Make sure you keep all the rules that the government lock us down at, and hopefully it will pass soon. What's good is that we have tons of times to test. Thanks everyone. Feel free to hit me or Leon on personal, Skypes or question if you still have anything. If I recorded this, so I can send it to you if someone want. Look at the metrics, understand the metrics, and if you need help, you can send us specific ads to decide to help you look and decide if you want to scale them or not, or if it's worth to test it or do something else. We will be more than happy. We see the metrics a lot, so we know them a bit better, but yeah, definitely go over all the metrics and make sure you understand what each one of them is doing, is meaning, because this will help you improve your creative, improve the way you promote it. Yeah, make some profit. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day and stay safe. Yalla, bye.